Hi, this is Trent with MetaGeek, and I've received a few questions or requests for features of Chanalyzer 3 to be implemented in Chanalyzer 4. However, these features are already in Chanalyzer 4, so this video is going to instruct you on how to get those back. It comes with the ability to change the main view to toggle on and off different features, and it's a little bit unfortunate that by default the outline view comes toggled on. I rarely use that. But in this view, we have kind of the planar view and the density view in the same one. But if you don't like the current, you can turn it off just by clicking the button here. If you like the old coloration of Chanalyzer 3, you can right click and you can say color by density. And this will color more dense areas red and less dense areas green. Some people have wondered, why the coloration seems to be different from Chanalyzer 3, and the reason being is that we do not auto adjust the density scale anymore. So back in the day of Chanalyzer 3, if there were less active areas, they would show up as the maximum density. Just because the scale auto adjusts. But now we are going to show dense parts of the spectrum with a color of red, and it'll be consistent from every single time that you use Chanalyzer 4. We feel like this is a better way of handling things because when you are using Chanalyzer 4 as a comparison tool, you need to know what is dense and what really is not dense. And so having a very consistent tool will help you be a better Wi-Fi or spectrum troubleshooter. So if you like the planar view of Chanalyzer 3, you can still have that option. You can even change the colors. You just need to open up the preferences and open up the max, and you can say, well, I want the blue to be the max, and we'll fill it, and we want the green to be the average. We can fill that as well, and we'll have the current be white. So you still have the planar view. You can also turn on the density view from behind, or you can turn these on as well. Toggle them on and off. It's very easy to do. I typically like the color by amplitude levels because what I see here, what is red, is actually going to relate to what is red in the waterfall view. So I can see that this cordless phone is represented here. It's no longer active, and it's slowly fading away. Whereas this AV transmitter is coming on, and it's still active. So let's go to a point in time where this AV transmitter is broadcasting. One thing that's new in Chanalyzer 4 is we give a little bit more information with our channels table. And we still do the grade, we still do the average per channel, and we also added the duty cycle, and we also added the number of access points, and we gave kind of like a current level, and all of these are sortable. You can click on them and sort by it. But let's sort by channel. So because we have an AV transmitter on channel 1, you can see that the grade is 0, and I can move to a different point in time, and the grade is 78. The reason it's 78 is because there is an access point currently occupying that channel. Whereas if I move to a point in time where the AV transmitter comes on, you can see the grade continually drop due to something that is constantly transmitting on that channel. With the Wi-Fi in Chanalyzer 4, you get a lot more information. It's a lot like Insider. You're going to get the SSID, the RSSI, the channel, the MAC address, the max rate, time, vendor, network type, privacy, and supported rates, as well as a networks graph where you can track the signal strength. And all of this is tied to the recording. So if I wanted to track the access points on channel 1 and see what it looked like when the AV transmitter came on, I can show you what the networks graph looks like for any access points that were on channel 1. And as you can see, there was a point where we noticed some drops in the network strength, and I look at around 153 in the waterfall view, and I can see that that is when the AV transmitter came on. So it's very useful for troubleshooting Wi-Fi and seeing where interference occurred, because the time frame is unified, which is something you won't find in other spectrum analyzer solutions. You can actually jump back to points in time. Another cool feature is you can actually create your own custom signatures, and that was a feature request we got a lot for Chanalyzer 3, and we implemented it in Chanalyzer 4. The outline view, and it comes enabled by default, but the only time you will use it is when you're looking at outline view by itself. And what this represents is high usage is going to be colored in red, meaning the outline view is saying this is what I think is a very definite signal, whereas the other stuff might be a maybe or not. But you can actually click and highlight, and you can say create new classifier. And it's an audio device, it's a cordless phone, so I'm going to say cordless phone and custom, and I'm going to click OK. And what this does is it creates a signature here where, let's see, cordless phone, where it creates a signature, and I can actually drag it and match it to this. So when you're using Chanalyzer 4, you can jump to different points in time. You can say, okay, well, this looks like a cordless phone and this looks like a cordless phone. I can go here and I can say this looks like 802.11b and this looks like 802.11b. And if I go further into the recording, I can say, well, this looks like an AV transmitter. And you can download any of our recordings from our forums, and you can create your own custom classifiers, or depending on what you see out in the field, you can create even more. And you have that option. Another cool feature is that when you are doing a live recording, and you save the recording and you click File Save, it's actually going to save all of the network data into the recording. So when you open it, you're going to see all the network data. It's going to play it back so you can see the network data that you saw in live, and that will help you in your troubleshooting if you need to open the recording and look at it again. It'll also save all of the configurations that you do. So if you want to zoom in to a certain frequency range, you can zoom. So you still have the hardware configuration like Chanalyzer 3. It's just a lot easier. You can just highlight and zoom. And I'm already zoomed in, and I can zoom in again. And if I show you the frequency ranges, you can see that I'm now at 2420 to 2431. And I think I can go even skinnier. So now I'm looking at a range of about 4 megahertz and at a very high resolution. The cool thing about Chanalyzer 4 is that it's going to save everything since you open Chanalyzer 4, and it'll save it in multiple sessions into an SQLite file. When you open it, you'll be able to toggle each of these hardware configurations within one file, and all of the network data will be saved into the recording as well. You still have all of the easy configurations, so if I want to jump to the 5 gigahertz band, I can very easily. Or if I want to go to an upper UNI band, that's very easy to do as well. So Chanalyzer 4 has a lot of the features of Chanalyzer 3 already in it, and some. And I just want everyone to be aware of those. We do have a few changes in the time frame that I know some people have had questions about. We do default to a certain time span, unlike Chanalyzer 3, where it kept showing the entire length of the recording. We tend to recommend people have a shorter time span anyway, because if you're going to be mobile or you're going to be focusing on the RF activity currently, you want the old data to drop off. So if you're going to be walking around, you want to be looking at the most recent 2 minutes instead of a location, an average of all of the data that you have accumulated over the past hour. You want to be looking at what is currently going on, and the best way that you can do that is with a smaller time span. But you can adjust that however you want. You can actually go back in time, like I was showing you earlier. You still have full control over the time span. If you want to just constantly be viewing the entire recording, just click auto, and it will leave the tail at the end, or you can uncheck it, and it'll set the time span at what you had before. So those are some of the new features in Chanalyzer 4. You still have a lot of what was in Chanalyzer 3 and some more. So I hope everyone enjoys the video and enjoys Chanalyzer 4. If you haven't downloaded Chanalyzer 4, I highly recommend you do. It's a great program, and it's much improved over Chanalyzer 3. Thanks for watching.